Hi everyone, it's the 16th of April 2022 and this is Teenie. I haven't been into this level for a long time. It's our toilet paper bin. Looks like I've got a grocery bag hanging out here. This looks like the toilet paper side, so we'll do that last. Let me just look on the rest of this bin. Worms hanging out. This was level 2 in my tower system. The reason I haven't been out here into these levels is we had another, not dip into freezing temperatures, but certainly colder temperatures than I would like. These worm bins are no longer in our greenhouse. So what I did is I just refrained from going into all the levels, and I fed the uppermost level some whole apples, because I found through my experiences with Gilligan's Island that whole apples actually go into a compost cycle when exposed to vermicompost all on their own, and actually heat up gently over an extended period of time. And so I put the apples in the uppermost bin because, like I said, I didn't have access to these lower levels, and it looks like the apples did a job. These worms are happy. They've come through the little bit chilly nights just fine. So I'll move this grocery bag over. This will be my last feeding area. This obviously is a mussel shell hanging out on the side. I don't think it'll ever break down. I think I might have to hit it with a hammer. And so we'll see. Obviously I put sticks and leaf stems and stuff on top of the feeding area. It does make it more difficult to fluff. Maybe I could move these bigger elements on top of the grocery bag and make it sort of a holding area so I can put them back when I'm finished fluffing. So this material is compacted a little bit more than the rest. There's an avocado, I think, or something, kind of an irregular shape for an avocado pit. The castings are denser here because this has been a feeding area several times running now. So the castings are looking beautiful, lots of worms. Another shell here with a worm. I think the worms like hiding out in little places, and by putting mussel shells in there, the worms are finding them, but not necessarily breaking them down. So, like I said, might have to hit them with a hammer. Okay, so I'm coming up on the toilet paper. It was in multiple pieces the last time I was in here. So let's just lay them out here. Can still tell by the color that they are the toilet paper rather than vermicompost. They are getting changed over to vermicompost though. Very small pieces, very small pieces. Worms obviously throughout the toilet paper. This feels like a denser piece here. Yeah, this is probably the most intact piece I've got. Well, so far. Worms throughout, so still loving it. As I have mentioned in previous Teenie videos, I tend to feed in this area and even drizzle whatever food juice I'm using on the toilet roll itself to get the toilet paper infused with the microbes, because I assume toilet paper, when it comes to us, does not have bacteria in it. Now, even though this was rolling around in the bottom of our van for a while and looked pretty grubby on the outside of the toilet roll, there was nothing to indicate that the inner layers of the toilet roll were anything except clean paper. So I drizzled juices on it, and that obviously gave the worms incentive to go down through it. Teenie still has lots of worms. So for those of you who run tower systems, this is the Tumbleweed Worm Café, and you'll notice that I don't run it in the way most people or certainly recommended, which is you run it that the feeding tray is the upper tray. I let all bins kind of go at their own pace and feed them and harvest them as they come ready. I do tend to move the bin that is closest to harvest to the uppermost level, just so I can keep an eye on it and do partial harvest if I feel it's necessary. So I actually have taken one of these bins inside. I believe it's Itsy that is inside right now. And but this level was on level 2. It's got lots of great vermicompost in it, but I am not ready to give this one a harvest yet. It'll be interesting to see how much longer this toilet paper hangs around. There it goes. It's distinctive in its coloring, so it's not something that the worms have discolored to a point that it's not recognizable, which is interesting that with all the dribbling of microbe juice on it, that the toilet paper is still distinctively that creamish off-white. Well, today's feeding is going to give that a bit of a run for its money, because I've left this outside for numerous days, so there's mold and all sorts of things working on these food scraps, and so and that's grit on the top. So I am putting these food scraps right on top of that toilet roll, and gonna absolutely challenge Teenie's worms here to get this toilet roll taken care of. It's a healthy feeding because, you know, even though it's coming up the end of April, it's Easter weekend, we do not have our nighttime temperatures at a level that I don't feel these worms are going to be comfortable without a little bit of accessory or extra heat. And anything I can get from compost action from this food is going to be appreciated by the worms. They'll survive, no problem at all, but they'll keep working if I can keep them a little bit warmer, I think. So the bigger bits that I pulled out, I am replacing on top of the feeding area. There's grit already in that feeding. There's a piece of corn. So I tend to put any big bits that I find over there. And that is Teenie for today. So toilet paper still looking dirty, or not looking dirty enough yet. The microbes are not taking away the color of the toilet paper yet, but it does seem to be shrinking in volume. All right, that's it for this video. Bye for now.